to episode 11 of our podcast. My name is Manuel.
And my name is Elena.
And today's topic is Daymare 1998, a video game that was made by an Italian studio.
Yes, that was very, very interesting because it was the first time that an Italian studio was became so famous actually because it's a very little studio here in Italy. They're from Rome, right?
Yeah, in the nearby.
Yeah, in the nearby. So I think that not so many people knew them before, but they started this project that was very connected with Resident Evil that actually we talked about in our podcasts.
Yeah. And they became famous. They became famous worldwide because they decided to start a project out of their passion for the Resident Evil brand, of course, which is a game series we already talked about.
That's right.
And it is very, very famous around the world. And so basically, some years ago, they decided to try and create a remake of Resident Evil 2, which was a game that Capcom published in 1998, if I'm correct.
That's why the video game is called Daymare 1998.
Right.
That's
And basically they did this remake just for out of passion, for real. They didn't have any ideas of making money out of it or something, because anyway they didn't, of course, have the rights to do it, of course, because Capcom is
the mother, let's say. The
owner of the intellectual property, of course, which is Resident Evil 2. But anyway, they decided to make this version, and they became very famous on YouTube. Many people saw their project, and they were really fascinated. And because it looked really, 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 really good.
Yes, it was awesome. A lot of people commented and said that it was a very interesting project because all the fans were waiting for a Resident Evil 2 remake. So
they weren't really waiting for that. They didn't have any idea about new remakes,
that's right.
Because nowadays, in the last few years, of course, we've seen a couple of remakes come out. But before that, and so we're talking before that, this wasn't even an option.
No.
So it was really something that just fans on the internet tried to create for other fans. And so they did the videos, everything looked great. Of course, we're talking about early versions of the game, so it was something that was slightly playable. It was not a complete game. It was something that you could at least try in the beginning. Of course, we're talking about something illegal because, of course, Capcom didn't give any license to do that. So
no, it was just a try from them, and it was very, very random that all those people shared the video and commented.
Yeah. And so, apart from the videos, they decided to, of course, to let other fans try the product, let's say. So, of course, that's how it goes on the internet. You try to do a project, of course, you can't have the rights to do that all the time, of course. But you can, of course, create it and let other people download it to try it. So they received a lot of downloads for the project, and they became very famous all around the world. And we're talking about like a couple of guys.
Yes, just a few guys, I think.
No, I think it was two, but it was like in the beginning. So like
I think, let's say the two that started all the project, but then there were more people coming out. So
and I think they started calling themselves Invader Games or something like that. It was really like, it was a project, but it was really small. It was just something fans for other fans, like something really easy. But of course, because many people saw the video and it received a lot of views on YouTube or downloaded the version, of course, Capcom started to realize what was going on.
Yeah.
And they sent basically a cease and desist option to the guys. So basically, stop
doing that.
I wouldn't say making money, but getting attention for something you can't use, because of course it's their property. But anyway, they weren't too strict or angry at them, because yes, of course they made them stop doing that, but they acknowledged their talents. So they said that the version was really, really good, and they invited them to Japan, to their headquarters, where basically they shared some opinions, ideas, they took photos, and so basically the two guys had, I think they were more than two at the time, because they were starting.
They were in four, maybe. I can't remember.
I guess they started becoming a bigger group.
Yep. But can you imagine what it means for a little group that just started randomly for their passion to do something different?
To get the attention from the big guys.
You know, so like, it's crazy. I mean, it's a dream coming true, and I think that's what they experienced when they arrived in Japan, and they arrived at Capcom's headquarters. I mean, they're a big company, so I think it was really a big dream coming true for them.
Yeah, and of course we don't know exactly what happened there, but of course they stopped doing the remake, and Capcom came out with a Resident Evil 2 remake like a year after.
Yes, a year after.
And I think they thanked the guys in the final credits of the game.
Yes, they were in the credits.
So yeah, so they received a big thank you. I'm pretty sure they gave some ideas to the other guys. To the big guys, let's say.
Yeah, let's say so.
But after that, I think they got some support or backup on their project, because Invader Games became Invader Studios, and they became a little bit bigger as a group. So they became a true studio, and they started working on their project, on their own project, which of course in the beginning was the Resident Evil 2 remake, but it became Daymare 1998. So a unique story, their own project.
Yeah, their own characters, their own story.
Yeah, their own project for real, and they started working on that. And of course, this was and still is a big thank you on Capcom, and a big fan project on Resident Evil. I mean, the game is full of many references, not only related to the Resident Evil saga, but to movies and other games. There's really a lot inside. There's a lot of passion inside.
Yeah, you can see that they really love horror and of course Resident Evil. If you are a fan of the saga, or also you're a fan of horror movies, I think it's a very good game to try, because there are lots and lots of references everywhere, and it's very interesting. So you can see how much these guys love the saga, for real.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what Resident Evil is, of course, you can also listen to our episode where we talk about Resident Evil. But anyway, to make it short, it's and this goes also for Daymare.
Yeah.
It's a survival horror game. So basically, it's a horror story where you find yourself in a situation where you have to survive. Usually, there are monsters, zombies, or other creatures, and you have to do the best you can with what you find and survive.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the concept. Okay.
Yeah. Of course, in Daymare, it's the same thing, even though the story is different. It's very interesting, the story they created. as in Resident Evil, there are lots of elements that are similar, but I think they came out with a pretty good story.
Yeah, of course, it's hard to compare their project to anything that Capcom made in the last few years. But I mean, we're talking about like a big game company in comparison to a small studio who just started, their business. So it's hard to make a comparison. But still, it's something that at least the fans of the saga or the survival horror fans should try at least once.
Yeah.
Of course, the game is not perfect. We played it, we tried it, we've seen most of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are flaws, there are problems here and there. Of course, it's their project, so it's different if you compare it to another game coming from a big company.
Yes.
They're using every resource they have, all the time they have to work on any possible change or fix or improvement to the game. So the game is well supported by the team. They're still trying to get better, of course,
yes, you
because
can see that.
it's their first project, and I don't think it's going to be their last.
No,
I think they're gonna keep up with that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the game is still good. It's something, definitely. I think that if it gets more improvements on how you play, or like small graphical problems or something here and there that you can find, but I mean, it's normal for a small reality like this.
Yes, but as you said, for a small reality is a very good work. I mean, you can see they worked really, really hard, even though there are some problems, but that's normal, I mean. But the game is very interesting and everything is very well done anyway. So I think it's an honor for a little company, for a little Italian company. It's also an honor for everybody who works in this environment and knows how much work there is behind.
Many people forget that, and also the fact that, of course, support comes from the team everywhere. They listen to the community. If they have time, they answer to the fans when they point out maybe something wrong with the game, or if they had some problems. So where they should put their attention on fixes. And
that's very important. I mean, if you
that's something that big companies don't do, because of course it's really hard to have this kind of filter with the fans. So this is really good, and of course it is possible because we're talking about a small reality, a small business. That's why you can do that.
But I mean, they can give so much to their fans, and I believe they will be very successful with this project, because you can see really how they work hard.
The thing is that it's not common for an independent developer to create a game that looks like a game coming from a big company. That's the thing. It's not common. Usually there are many independent games which are really, really good.
Yes,
but of course you can see that the resources were a little bit tight or small, if you prefer. This game looks I don't know, less cheap, I would say. It looks more going towards a great direction, something really big. Of course, it needs time and improvement, but it's still something. And the problem is that if you don't support independent realities like this one, also, and we're talking to Italian fans.
Yes, of course. In this case,
In this case, you have to at least when they start, you have to help them, because if you don't, and they don't succeed with their first project, maybe it could be their end.
Yeah, that's very sad. That's a very sad situation. So I believe they really
They deserve some support.
They deserve the support. I'm glad that we bought this video game. I'm glad we played it, and I really liked it. Even with the problems they had, I mean, it was a very good game. So, and we also want to say to everybody who is listening to try it.
Yeah, if they are a fan of the genre, yeah, maybe you should. Of course, keep in mind what we said about possible problems or fixes coming. Of course, you need to be patient with this kind of projects, but in the end, it's still a good option.
Yeah, it's worth it
if you like the survival horror genre, and this is something that many people that wrote or rated the game didn't take into consideration.
Yeah, that's
and we're talking
right.
about other parts maybe of the world.
Yeah.
They just compared it to Resident Evil and said, oh yeah, if I have to play a game, I'm going to play Resident Evil. Yeah, that's easy if you have like millions of dollars maybe, or like a big budget to do a video game, or if you have like a small one. It's really a comparison you shouldn't make in this case.
No, yes, I completely agree. There are two different games, two different things, so you have to play them just as they are. Especially Daymare 1998, so you just have to play it as it is. That's it. But you're going to enjoy it for sure if you're a fan.
I think we said everything we want to say about Daymare this time, and of course we want to address that this is going to be the last episode of our first season of podcasts. Of course, we hope you enjoyed them, and of course you can listen to them as much as you want. Of course, if you want to add something about today's topic, if you maybe tried the game yourself, good. Of course, we would like to hear from you down here in the comments. If you like the topic anyway, you can leave us a like and share the video to your friends.
Of course. But yes, as you said, this is going to be the last episode, so we will see you next time. Yeah. We will return
in the future with more episodes.
Yes, for sure. But for now, our time is over, so see you next time.
Bye. Bye.